Welcome to the Sons of UCF, a unique UCF podcast experience. Now, say hello to Adam and Mike.
That is right. We have returned episode number 98 of the all-new Sons of UCF, although nothing has really changed. So first off, welcome into the show. I'm Adam. I've got Mike with me as always. And if you're listening to us, that means you successfully found our new podcast feed. Good for you. You get a black and gold star. This is the new feed where you can find our show exclusively. So if you're listening to us and you have not hit the subscribe button, feel free to go ahead and do that right now. That'll ensure that you get the show every time that it comes out for the first time, and you'll be subscribed going forward. Nothing else you need to do. We're on all your major platforms, so you can hear us on Spotify, Apple, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube. We are all over the place. If there's a platform you want that we're not on, just let me know, and we will work that out. Nothing else has changed. You can still find us on social media feeds. We've ventured into the Facebook space, so if you search Sons of UCF on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you will find us. You can also find Mike. We've got two accounts out there for Mike. He's on Twitter at UCFMike1. You can also find him on Facebook. He's under the name Adam Mike, Sons of UCF. So you can friend request Mike and get updates and exclusive content on the show as well. So for those who have followed already and subscribed, we appreciate you so very much. Thanks for hanging in with us. Not much will change from a show standpoint. We have a good one this week. We're doing the previews of the Sonny results, all the polling that went on last week, and we appreciate everyone who responded to that. We've got Mike's picks. We have Cow of the Week. And we've tracked down probably our most popular guest to date. And so he'll be back with us as well. Mike, I said a mouthful there. I can barely talk. I don't have a wisdom tooth anymore based on surgery this week. So I'll turn it over to you, buddy. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. Good to get episode 98 kicked off.
What an episode it is. I don't know what I'm more excited about. Me joining Facebook for the show, right? Or the white horse himself back on the Sons of UCF for the second time. Is he a friend of the show now?
I think so. He's very friendly with us, off the air, on the air. I feel like we've got it in with George. He did not invite us to watch a game with him, so I think we're still on a little bit on the outside looking in. But I think I can say friend of the program for sure.
Hey, yeah, I talked to him 2 days in a row now on the phone. I called him yesterday to see if he wanted to come on, and here he is again today. How else? I mean, I don't care if nobody listens to our show ever, but how cool has it been to have George O'Leary's phone number in your phone now for the last year and be able to call him and text him whenever you want? I can call him and talk to him about the Yankees. And, it's just a cool thing to do, man. Talking to all the former players that we've had on. What a show this is, huh? I don't know if any other shows can say they can do what we do.
I don't know if they could either. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing, but either way, we're glad you found us and stick with us. Again, you can make sure you subscribe to the show if you're so inclined and you want to give us a little rating, a little review. We'd love a 5-star. If we've earned 5 stars out of you, please feel free. Don't be shy. Hit the 5-star button on whatever platform you're on. If you want to write out a little review for Mike and I, we've got some show merch that we're kicking around here, and we'll hopefully get out soon enough, and maybe we'll do some contest for some merch off some good reviews. So a lot of exciting things coming. Mike and I are really most excited. I think the only thing I'll say about our show is, and I hope that this resonates with people who listen, Mike, but the show really is an extension of Mike and I and our friendship. We've known each other 25 years. If we weren't sitting on the phone or in front of a microphone right now talking UCF and recording it, we'd probably be texting each other about something. What are your game plans this weekend? Fortunately, we've lived apart, at least in different sides of the coast for a period of time, so we don't get a chance to hang out as much. But for us, the show is an extension of our friendship. And it's been really cool to go on this journey. And as Mike and I kind of look at where we are now and where we want to go, for us, it's really just about two friends taking a chance and moving forward and really kind of trying something different, trying something new. I think we saw this weekend, we saw Tom Brady get out there and Tom Brady, wanted to try something different and try something new. And that's kind of where Mike and I are at. We're just going to give this thing a ride. It's going to be all on us. We're going to have a lot of skin in the game. And what better thing to do than to grab one of your best friends in the world and say, hey man, let's take this journey together. Let's try something. Let's get uncomfortable. Let's try something new. Let's see what we got. All that didn't sound good, by the way. I should maybe delete all that out. But the reality is, Mike and I are excited to go forward with this. It's going to be a fun adventure, and Mike, I'm super glad that you are willing and able and excited about this opportunity as well.
Yeah, I was getting a little nervous listening to you there. I don't know if you had something else up your sleeve. But yeah, man, it's been really cool. I've known you now, like you said, since we were freshmen in high school. We lived together for 4 years in college. And really, I don't know if people on the show know this, but I haven't seen you in person since the Cure Bowl, basically, before the 2017 season. So you were living in California for 4 years. Now you're back in Florida, but you're still up in Jacksonville. I'm down here in Fort Lauderdale. It's not like we're able to drive to each other's house to watch the game. But yeah, man, having this show is really cool. I'm always grateful for you to ask me to be on it with you. And it's been a hell of a ride for the last 2 years and starting year 3 now. We're on our own officially. You know, we've kind of just grown up and moved out of mom and dad's house, and let's go do it on ourselves. You know, let's see what we got.
Yeah, look, in my professional life, one of the things that I've always kind of been taught and had mentors teach you is, you grow being uncomfortable, right? So this is something new for us. Is the audio always going to be great? Probably not. Are we going to flub some stuff up? Yeah. Are we going to probably play an ad over us talking? Sure. But the reality is we're gonna do it together, and we're just grateful that you guys out there are along for the ride. We got a lot of nice notes and comments, and it just means a lot to us to know that we're able to be an extension of your UCF family. We can give you a couple of hours a week of UCF stuff that you can hopefully laugh and be educated on and smile about and look forward to. So that's what we're gonna keep doing, and that's what we're gonna start doing right now, Mike. Enough of the mushy stuff. I didn't think we'd ever get here, buddy. You know what this is, Mike?
It's game week, baby.
It's game week, baby. It is finally game week. It is here, Georgia Tech, Saturday, 3:30, now on ABC. Unfortunately, we drew McElroy as our announcer, Mike. But what are your thoughts? We never, I don't know if we ever thought we'd be here. Here we are. What are your emotions? What are your thoughts, 4 or 5 days out before kickoff?
Oh, I am jacked up, man. I got to watch a little bit of football finally. I told you a couple weeks ago I wasn't watching the Austin Peay games and all those other ones a couple weeks ago. This past weekend I did. I watched some of the Georgia Tech Florida State game because I was interested in Georgia Tech. I watched some of the Giants last night, a little bit of NFL this weekend. So it was cool having football back, but now our guys are going to be back this week, and that I'm very excited for. And the McElroy thing, all that stuff he's on the broadcast, hey, I told you since day one we did this show, I don't listen to the TV broadcast. I'm going to set up the Mark Daniels call right along with the UCF on the TV and have the whole UCF broadcast production going on in my house. So that's the way everybody else has to do it too.
Well, here's what we know. Not a lot of news and headlines this week, Mike. So a couple things that we didn't hear. We did not get an official depth chart. But if you listen to episode 97, now the lost episode, although now refound, Mike and I gave you the depth chart as best as we can figure it. So you did not get an official depth chart, so there's that. Heupel did his normal media session. We can save you the trouble. He didn't say a heck of a lot, Mike. A couple of items that he sort of broke within there. We have not had any new opt-outs, so the 10 players who opted not to play, that list has not changed. And Josh Heupel hinted that maybe somebody's coming back to the bubble, but he was pretty vague about that. Really, the other nugget he dropped is simply that Mackenzie Milton would not be playing for quote-unquote the first couple of weeks. So I know there's a lot of conversation about Mackenzie. He is not scheduled to play, it sounds like, for at least for a period of time here. So we got that out of the way. After that, he didn't really answer much. He kind of dodged some of the questions and basically said, hey, we're gonna play it on Saturday and talk about how excited that he is and the team is. So not much from an update standpoint, at least from Coach Heupel this week.
Right, and the one other thing too that he kind of danced around was the transfers. Is Devon Wilson going to be able to play this week? He still didn't give a definitive answer to that. I think they're still waiting to hear, which is hard to believe. We're 4 days from kickoff now. And when are we going to find out? Or does Heupel know and he's just not sharing it with us? I guess that's possible too, as we all know Heupel. But the game is finally here, man. We've been waiting since December for a football game, 9 months. And I can't wait to get this thing kicked off.
Yeah, that's the thing with Hype is, you never know what he's planning, what he's thinking, what he what he's going to do, right? I think that's part of the subterfuge. That's the word I use every season. That is Josh Heupel. So we will see what happens. Whatever the case is, Mike. The rankings came out, and it's now been sort of adjusted because they've taken out the schools that aren't playing. What are your thoughts on where UCF find themselves ranked right now, Mike?
Well, pretty much where we assumed we would be once the first rankings came out, and then they said they were going to take out the Big Ten and the Pac-10 teams. We are up at 13 and 14 right now, which is where we would have been if you take those teams out. So the other news that dropped today is the Big Ten's coming back, and that's going to happen in mid-October, I believe, the first couple of weeks of October.
Is that official? I've been running around with some stuff. I know that there was a hot mic situation, which sounds like a good nickname for you, by the way. A hot mic situation where the Nebraska guy, of course, it has to be Nebraska, said something and indicated that maybe they're coming back, and then there was a lot of backpedaling, and so I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it sounds like that's a real possibility. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens with the rankings then? Does Ohio State jump right back in over us?
Yes.
And Michigan and Minnesota.
Yes. Yes.
So how excited do we get about the rankings right now? I can't tell you. I mean, I was hoping Georgia Tech would jump in the rankings after their win last week against Florida State, and I think they're just outside at about 26.
Yeah.
So
I think that says more about how bad Florida State is than how bad how good Georgia Tech is. That I don't think they got ranked. They obviously a win's a win, but I think that just shows the lack of respect the voters had for Florida State's team right now.
Right. The rankings. I mean, the rankings are the rankings. We've said it every year. The first couple of weeks there should be no rankings, and all they are for the TV ratings. And we don't. What do we really know about these teams so far? I mean, some teams haven't played a game like us. Some teams have played one game. And here we are. This is the highest we've ever been ranked before we kicked off the game. So if you want to look at it that way, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But like we said, we may drop. We may start out 3-0 and then rise up to number 10 and then drop to number 15 in the same week.
Yeah, for me at this point, I'm just take the rankings and just put them in your pocket because right now they're useless. There's nothing we can do about it. If the Big Ten comes back, the Pac-12, whoever, we literally have zero control over it. I think, in all honesty, I'm not trying to pull a hype here, but we just need to go 1-0, and that's really the only thing UCF can take care of. I think the one thing that I heard, we got to hear briefly from some players this week. Mike Eric Gilliard spoke, Dylan Gabriel spoke, and it was just a quiet confidence. These guys are just ready to play football, and hopefully that kind of translates itself on the field. Georgia Tech having a game. Does that? I've heard this a few times. I don't know if I agree to this, but does Georgia Tech having a game before us, does that give them any sort of advantage, Mike? Do you think that helps them in preparation for us that they've already played one?
I think in a year like this, it does give them a slight advantage. I mean, this year is crazy with the whole playing with minimum crowds and getting tested every couple of days. They've gone through that whole process now for a week. They know what it's like to travel, even though they're going to get home this week. I think it gives them a little bit of advantage. And also for us, we don't know what to expect. We haven't played a game, like I said, in 9 months. Will it take us a quarter or a half to knock the rust off a little bit? Maybe, maybe not. But I can't see how it hurts them in any way, unless they suffered any injuries that I'm not aware of.
The only thing I think is it gives us a week's worth of game film, right? Because we didn't know who the starting quarterback was going to be. Now we do. We know it's Jeff Sims, true freshman, the nephew of Mike Sims Walker, by the way. We know what kind of player he is. I know Heupel recruited him. He was somebody that the staff was trying to get to come to UCF, so they probably know a little bit about him. Now they know the offense they're going to run. Now they know some of their skill players. So UCF has a week's worth of film, where Georgia Tech obviously has all the film from previous years. But if you know Heupel, our hope is that he's pulling something a little bit different out of the bag. And is Georgia Tech, are they watching UCF game film? Are they watching any Iowa State stuff to see if there's a Golesh influence on the offense? So I think Georgia Tech has a bit of a disadvantage because they don't know what we're coming with. I think they know we have athletes, what we do, but I don't think they know specifically what to prepare for. UCF has an entire 60 minutes of tape to watch. And you also mentioned the other thing, and this is just the new norm, Mike. And Georgia Tech traveled. It sounds like they traveled by bus, if I read it correctly. So they drove to Tallahassee, but they were in a new environment with people around, and they've got to continue the COVID protocols. And we've seen teams that have been on the road, unfortunately, come back to their schools or their cities, and all of a sudden there's a couple of positive tests. So Georgia Tech got exposed, quote unquote, a week early. And that's going to be the new norm. And I certainly hope everyone's healthy. But I actually see this as an advantage UCF because now we have 60 minutes to look at, and we're going in with a healthier team. Yeah, there's rust and all that stuff. Maybe that equals out in the end. But I like the advantages of being able to sit back a week and see what happens.
Well, there's the other side of the coin. So they haven't seen Jalen Robinson, J Flash, in a UCF uniform, or what he can do.